Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and I had an idea for a video that was going to be the top 10 games in the top 100 that I actively don't want to play. Here's the problem with that. It's a good idea for a video. It's a good title for a video, but there aren't 10 games in the top 100 that I actively don't want to play. I've played most of the games in the top 100 on Board Game Geek. This is on Board Game Geek's top 100. I've played most of the games in the top 100, and there are two games in the top 100 that I actively don't want to play. Now, there are a whole lot of games that I'm kind of mediocre on, that they're like, it's good, but I don't think it's top 100 material. And in fact, if you want, maybe I will do a separate video of like my 10 most meh games in the top 100, like that I have to figure out the title for that, but that might be a separate video worth doing. That's not this video. Because I don't want to just casually say, here are 10 games I don't want to play if I don't actually mean those words, I instead pivoted and decided how high up the Board Game Geek top whatever do I have to go to get to 10 games that I actively don't want to play? Meaning I would rather do a lot of other things over these games. Like, meaning to be fair, there's a lot of games I'd rather play over other games. But what I mean by this is, I would rather do something that is not playing a game over playing these. I'd rather read a good book, play a good video game, possibly just go for a good walk and be alone with my thoughts, than play these board games, okay? Now, they aren't necessarily bad games. In fact, 2 of them are in the top 100. The other 8 are fairly high, although we'll see how high we go. They're all probably good games in different ways, but for me, I just don't want to spend my time on those things to the point that I would seek out other activities. Before we dive into this, I have a question for you, more of a guess, I guess. You can make a guess down below. How high do you think I have to go up the Board Game Geek top whatever in order to get to 10 games, okay? To make it a little easier on you, I'll say the number is less than 1,000. So these 10 games are within the Board Game Geek top 1,000, but it might be in the Board Game Geek top 200, might be in the Board Game Geek top 300, 400, 500. No other hints other than the fact that the highest one is going to be under 1,000. That's my only hint you get. And with that, you can go ahead and lock your guesses down below, and then I'll start going through these. And normally I would count down to the top 100, but this time we're going to be counting our way up. We're going to be starting with the highest rated game on BGG, and then moving our way down the list slowly until we get to a point where I found 10 games I actively don't want to play. Let's start off with our number 1, which is going to be Twilight Struggle, coming in at number 14 on Board Game Geek. Twilight Struggle is a good game. I've enjoyed it. In fact, I've played it like, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe 9 times, like somewhere in that range. I played this before I ever started logging plays, so I don't even know. I played it like, I think, twice. I played it twice since logging plays, but Twilight Struggle is a good game. The problem I have with it is it's way too long for the experience I get out of it, and the experience I get out of it mostly feels like a whole lot of rolling dice. Now again, hardcore fans will say there's a lot more to it, there's mitigation, there's strategy, it's not about rolling dice, and you are certainly right. Nonetheless, for me, I would rather do a lot of things before playing Twilight Struggle. I'd obviously rather play 1960. Even before that, I'd rather play Watergate, which I think is better and even shorter than both of those games, but ultimately, I'd rather play I'd rather play video games, read books, go on a walk, than spend the 4 hours it might take to dive into another game of Twilight Struggle. I have tried it plenty of times. I've even enjoyed my time with it. At this point, I think I'm just not interested in spending more time on this game. Coming in at number 9, we have Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. Coming in at 68 on the Board Game Geek Top 100, I have tried to like this game. I have really tried, actively tried. I did a whole video of Play This Not That between Cthulhu Death May Die and Mansions of Madness, and it's not even just that I prefer Cthulhu, it's that, to me, playing of Mansions of Madness is an active chore. I dove into it way back when the hype was coming out about the 2nd edition specifically. I don't know if I've ever played the 1st edition, but I got into it because of the hype of the 2nd edition, and it didn't work for me. I remember at the time, like, Tom Vassell, who, like, didn't really do solo, was like, I like this game so much, I'll even play it solo, and I don't usually do solo. And I was like, that's so intriguing, let me go ahead and try it. And I bounced off hard. And so I came back like 7 or 8 years later because I was like, I'm missing something. Let me try it again. Now that I've played more games, dove in more into solo, let me see what there is. And I played it. I played it, by the way, both solo and cooperatively, and I have not liked it. Every minute I've ever spent in Mansions of Madness was an absolute chore. Like, at least Twilight Struggle, I played it 9 times, and I'm at the point where I'm just done with it. Again, with critiques, but I at least understand there's a good game there. Mansions of Madness, I understand there's a good game because it's rated so highly, but I don't understand it from actually playing it. Actually playing it feels like a feels like a chore. It feels like a chore that I don't want to dive into. Coming in at number 3, not a surprise to those who watch the channel, Blood on the Clocktower, coming in at 101 on Board Game Geek, just outside the top 100. And to be fair, if you only watched my original content on this game, my opinion has gone up since then. It's gone from a game that I refuse to ever play to a game that I'm kind of willing to play, but I kind of don't want to. For context, just for context, as of right now when I'm filming this, I just recently got invited. I'm going to be at a convention, and there's a publisher who's like, oh yeah, come over and we'll play Blood on the Clocktower. And I was like, can I come over and just watch? And I am still not yet sure. I haven't actually decided what's happening at the moment. I'm still not sure whether I'm going to ask to watch so that I could not be involved in playing it, or whether I'll go along with playing it because, like, there's worse things I could do. But this is the feeling I'm at, where I'm still not sure if I'd literally rather watch them play than play the game. But again, my original opinion was far worse than that. My original opinion was I will never play this again, but then I did with friends to give it a shot, to try it out. And I think there's a decent game here. I have critiques on it. I have all my complaints. Don't worry, all you fans of Blood on the Clocktower. I am very aware that I'm playing it wrong by every account and metric you can have. Except, as I've commented in the past, everyone I've played it with is apparently playing it wrong too, and a lot of them are, like, lots of different people I've played the game with are all playing the game wrong. Neither here nor there, Blood on the Clocktower is a game that I have tried to like. I have actively given it multiple shots. I may even end up playing it just from a sense of not wanting to be the person who says, can I please not play the game? But for me, I don't know. Like, I like hit and roll. I do like hit and roll. I just don't think I like Blood on the Clocktower hit and roll. Again, an 8.4. It has an audience. It has a fan base. I am in the minority here. That's very clear. But for me, I still just don't want to play it. Coming in number 4, we have Dominant Species, ranked 106 over here, again, just outside the Board Game Geek Top 100. It's also at this point that I'm realizing that this kind of video inherently is going to, like, everyone's going to have the games they agree with me on, and the games that they're like, how could you not like that? Like, Blood on the Clocktower, I get, but you don't like Dominant Species? These kinds of videos are definitely the ones likely to generate all the... Again, I'm inherently picking the most popular games that I don't like, which we all have them, like you have. In fact, before I continue on to this video, if you can do me a favor, in addition to posting your guess as to how high up the Board Game Geek Top 100 I have to go, could you also do me a favor and can you post the highest ranked game that you, just do the highest ranked game on Board Game Geek that you actively would prefer not to play. Not that you're okay with, not that you're like, it's not great, but whatever, but you would really just rather do anything else than play that game. I'd love to hear your notes down below as well, and that way the hate's not just directed at me. Mostly at me, but not just directed at me. Anyways, Dominant Species. I think Dominant Species has a lot going on for it, and if this is a video game, I'd be far more inclined to play it. But the main complaint I had against the game, to the point that it literally ruins the experience for me, is that you constantly have to count and recount where things are at as far as the control, to the point that the rulebook says, as a rule, that if you just miss something, well, that is the state of the game. I mean, the rulebook understands that the counting is so annoying and tedious and will likely result in missed instances, that they literally have a rule that the game state, as observed and kind of agreed upon by the players, is what the game state is, regardless of whether that actually is the game state or not. When a game has to have a rule that accounts for how annoying it is to track things, that to me is a problem. Now, past that, there's a lot of things I actually do kind of like about the game. This one I had a lot of, like, the action selection system, very rewarding, the area control, tight area control game. There's a lot going on here that I want to like, but I would rather not play this game again because of that one aspect. I just don't want a homework assignment when I play a game. I want a game. I want fun, not a homework assignment. At number 5, we have The Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. To me, this was Mansions of Madness, but not as bad. But also, it still wasn't good, and I'd rather not play it. Very much the same kind of core system as far as the game goes, but with a theme that I much prefer. But the gameplay to me, I found dry and tedious. Not as dry and tedious as Mansions of Madness. I actually played this one a little bit more before finally giving up on it. But to me, it's more that this one, Mansions of Madness, I actively dislike my time with, and Lord of the Rings, I just kind of wasn't invested at all at any point. And I got to a certain point where I was like, I'm several hours into this, and at no point have I been having fun. At what point do I just give up on when the fun shows up? So this is one where there is even a universe where I tried to give this another shot, similar to the way I did with Mansions of Madness, where I gave it a shot, came back years later. There is a world where I try to do that with Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. I do like the Lord of the Rings theme enough, but I would be doing so to try to see if I was wrong the first time. As of my current opinion, I didn't dislike it as much, but at no point did I feel the fun while playing this game. Coming at number 6, we have Age of Steam. Age of Steam is... Whew, I don't love this game. I like Railways of the World, I like Steam. I do not like Age of Steam. Age of Steam feels like the cruel version of Railways of the World and Steam. It feels like the game that kind of takes those core concepts, that does those well, and then says, hey, how can we make this as unfun for players who aren't obsessed with this game as possible? One thing I will say about a lot of the games I'm going to be covering today is to a certain extent there are hardcore fan bases around these games, and that can happen. Sometimes a great game for somebody is a game that others will bounce off of. Sometimes it's about who you play the game with and whether they were focused on you having a good time or on them having a good time. That's a possibility as well. For me, Age of Steam is my least favorite of that trilogy of Age of Steam, Rails of the World, and Steam, which are all built on very similar mechanics. Age of Steam just feels like the most punishing one, the most catered towards those who love this as opposed to those who are looking to find out if they love it. From there, we have This War of Mine, the board game, coming in at 207 on Board Game Geek's numbers chart over here. So currently, if you guessed lower than 207, you are wrong. But This War of Mine, the board game, is the 207th, or the, I guess, number 7 on this list, but 207 on Board Game Geek. And I've tried this one. I tried it expecting not to like it, so confirmation bias is a real thing, meaning it is entirely possible that because of all the things I expected not to like, I then didn't like it. That's possible. That said, I did expect not to like it. I played it, and then I did indeed not like it. That is something that can happen. I think This War of Mine caters to an excellent story. It is a game that will make you feel, but to me it makes you feel about the horrors of war while making me feel like a sense of defeat as I play the game. I'm not looking to have a sense of defeat when I play board games. I'm looking to have fun and to enjoy myself. I don't mind defeat, but I don't want to feel like hopelessness in the face of all the difficulties facing me. So as an art piece, I think This War of Mine is fantastic. As a board game, I would rather have fun. Coming in at number 8, we have Memoir 44, another game that's very popular that I just don't get. Coming in at 208 on Board Game Geek's list. Memoir 44 is... I don't understand. This is the commands and color system from Richard Borg. It's a very popular system that has had a lot of implementations. My favorite of which is Battle Lore. And Battle Lore, which is my favorite from the systems, is still one that I don't love, but at least I see enough kind of things happening that I semi-enjoy it. But Memoir 44 is my least favorite of those systems, and it's just, to me, it's luck upon luck. It's what are you going to roll, and what cards in your hand do you have to activate the lanes? How much choice is there? I guess there's choice. Does it feel like I'm just kind of marching troops forward, rolling dice, and hoping I roll better than my opponent? It kind of does. Am I probably wrong about that? Yeah, I mean, it's ranked pretty highly. There's probably people who get more strategy out of these systems, and I've only ever played the base game, but I've done it multiple times trying to see if I would like it. Yes, I will probably end up trying the Star Wars Memoir 44 when that comes out, because I am a glutton for trying themes I like and seeing maybe they tweaked something in a way that I liked. Meaning, after all, I do like Battle Lore more than I like Memoir 44, and they are very much the same system, so there are ways you can add on enough. Granted, not enough to hold on to that one, but at least enough that Battle Lore I like and kind of want to like more, versus Memoir 44, just no matter how many times I've tried it, I've bounced off hard every single time. Like, this is... I think I'm done. I think I'm done trying it, but I will try the Star Wars one because why not? Coming in at number 9 on my list and at 239 on Board Game Geek's list, we have Dead of Winter or Crossroads game. Now this one is one that I'm not saying I wouldn't be opposed. There are ways which I try this again, but I don't want to. It's kind of like, sometimes I'm just willing to try something again in different ways to see if I like it. But Dead of Winter, I've tried it multiple times, and each time I have felt that it's one of those game systems that feels like it's hard to play to begin with, and then you throw in a trader mechanic, and it's like, just feels, again, almost defeatist to a certain extent. Now, others like this game. It's got a lot of fun. I don't mind a good trader mechanic, but to me, when I'm trying to focus on building up to resist all the bad things that are happening, it has to be really well done for me to like it. Like Battlestar Galactica, really well done. I do have my own problems with Battlestar Galactica, but I would play that game again. I think it's a magnificent experience in many ways. Or if you want something more akin to Dead of Winter, I like Shadows over Camelot. I think it's a better game that it just feels more fun to go through, even though it kind of does have similar tones. But Dead of Winter, for whatever reason, this one, again, I tried multiple times. Each time I have not had an enjoyable experience. It is well loved by others. For me, it is... well, my number 9 on those that I don't like, that would actively prefer not to play. And then my number 10, coming in over here at 305 on Board Game Geek's list, is Detective, a modern crime board game. This is coming to you from Portal Games, and this is a detective-ish system, which I guess that's implied based on the game, but it's very much a mystery-solving system, similar to things like Chronicles of Crime, but a little different. This is very much about trying to be given clues and then finding things out. There's a degree of real-world, like kind of Googling and figuring things out based on trying to uncover a mystery. I like escape room games. I really do. I think escape room games are a lot of fun, whether it's Exit, Unlock, anything Post-Curious puts out. I generally enjoy a very good escape room story, but things like Chronicles of Crime, I think was directly after this, or I don't remember exactly where Chronicles of Crime was. It was close by to this. I think that Chronicles of Crime I'm slightly more willing to try again, versus Detective felt like homework. Now, if you really like, I don't know what it is about. Because to me, I was going to say, if you really like a good, mystery, but, I do like a good mystery. I do like a good Exit or Unlock or, again, anything else in this game poop genre. For whatever reason, Detective, a modern crime board game, for whatever reason, this implementation felt significantly more like homework than it did feel like an escape room game. Although I don't have a good, easy way to define why that is. But that's my list. These are the 10 highest ranked games on BGG that I actively would prefer not to play, that I would rather do many, many other things, including going for a walk and being alone with my thoughts. Not that that's the worst thing, but books are fun, video games are fun, so I'm trying to pick something more neutral. I'd rather do something neutral. Here, I guess here's what I put it. If I was at game night, and these were the games being picked, and my options were just passively, I'm using this whole thing with Blood on the Clocktower, if my options were passively being socially at game night, and just that's it. I'm still at game night. I'm still with my friends, but I'm just socially involved in the background. Or playing these games. I think in all of them, I think I'd prefer Twilight Struggle. I'd rather just be talking in the background. Mansion Madness, for sure. Blood on the Clocktower, I think so. Dominant Species, I think so. Lord of the Rings, I would want to play because, like I said already, I have that aspect of wanting to give it another shot. So this one I would want to play it rather than be nothing, but only because I kind of have a homework assignment in my head of trying to play it again. That might be true for Dead of Winter as well, that kind of aspect, versus Age of Steam is a tough one. We'll come back to that soon. This War of Mine would rather be in the background. Memoir 44 would rather be in the background. Detective would rather be in the background. Age of Steam is the only one on this list. Age of Steam is the only one on this list that I think would not pass that vibe check. I think okay, you know what? We're going to do a little bonus round over here. So we're going to go to Board Game Geek's Top 100 because I'm going to try to find we're going to go through it over here. We're just going to go all the way up to 305 because I'm not confident that Age of Steam passes that test. I think if a bunch of friends were at the table playing Age of Steam and my option was playing Age of Steam or just being there socially, I think I would play Age of Steam. So we're going to try to go one further. We're going to see, and by the way, your earlier guess of whatever it was, that's, in terms of your brownie points for being right or not, 305 is still the number, just for the sake of whatever. But let's see how far we can go. So 305, let's go one more page apparently. We'll go to page 4 over here, and let's see how far we have to go. Detective, Lewis and Clark, this is the bonus round, okay. Marvel United, Bora Bora, Chronicles of Crime, Star Wars Frontiers, Oath, King Domino, Battle Line, Steam, Foundations, Apiary, Turing Machine, Rococo, Hive, Cryptid, Ethnos, Forgotten Waters. Time Stories I'd still play it. I didn't love Time Stories at all, but I'd still play that one. Dixit, Love Letter, Long Shot, Illustrations, Witcher, Arcadia Quest, Imperium Classics, I'd still rather play. Again, I had my complaints about it, but I'd still rather play that one. Indonesia, Navigata, Imperial for Sale, Cloudspire, Summon Wars, Dungeon Pets, Dark Romantic, Acquire, Space Love Letter, Age of Empires. There's a lot of good games out here. It's going to be hard to see how hard we can go to find one more here. Nemo's War. Oh, Nemo's War. Nemo's War is a solo game, so I don't know if that really counts. But in that hypothetical, I think Nemo's War. Nemo's War is the next one up. It is a solo game, so it's hard to mentally put yourself in that table. But if it weren't, if I was doing if I was playing a solo player with a friend, and I've played solo games with friends before. If I was playing a solo game with a friend and his options was being involved in Nemo's War or not, I think Nemo's War would get my number 11 pick over here. So Nemo's War is going to semi-proxy out our Age of Steam because using that specific criteria, Age of Steam I think I'd rather play. Anyways, that's your list over here. Like I said already, I'll probably try to do another video of top 10 games in the Board Game Geek Top 100 that I think are just okay. I'll figure out a better title for that. But there are a lot of games that I think are just okay, that I liked but didn't go crazy over. That happens a lot. But finding games you actively would rather being a passive participant at the table rather than playing the game, these are my top 10 or 11. But let me know in the comments down below which one your number one is, because everyone's got their game. Everyone's got their game. And if you can't find one in the top 100, that's impressive. That would be impressive. Anyways, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.